Hey guys, it's Vortex57 here with another Xur review. I think it's the week of April 28th. April 28th, yes. So Xur is over by the speaker today, over by the mysterious door. So let's take a look and see what Xur has for sale today.
There is something inside me that
Alright, for kicks, we have a Legacy Engram, and it's a body armor / chest armor type. And remember, this is going to give you year 1 rewards, so it'll be capped at 170 light once they're completely upgraded. This can be useful if you're missing particular exotics on your Warlock, Hunter, or Titan. You know, say you're missing Armamentarium and you pick this up and you get it, it'll unlock the year 2 version of it in your kiosk. Then you can just pick it up for 125 legendary marks. So if you're missing stuff, this is not a bad way to try and fill in your missing exotics. Okay, for Titan gear, we have the Immolation Fists this week. Intellect Strength roll, 34-41. That's not a terrible roll. Remember, the max for arms is 41-41, and that stat will go up slightly once you infuse it up to 400. And currently, it's sitting right around a 91% roll, so that's give you some perspective. Intellect Strength can be good for arms. Strength is always good to have a little bit of if you're going to go for tier 11 or tier 12. So this is not a bad place to start, especially with that max strength portion of that exotic gear. The exotic perk for these is Accelerant. Unlocks a Sunbreaker subclass node Explosive Pyre for free. Enemies brought down by your hammer explode, chaining fiery solar damage to other enemies. This is not an insanely good perk, but it can be a lot of fun with mobs, especially like in the pit or certain areas of patrol. So if you kill enemies, it'll cause the ones around them to explode, and then theoretically, if enemies next to them are killed by those explosions, they'll explode. And I think they might have limited it, but back in the day, there was no limit to the number of explosions that could actually happen. So there's some pretty interesting moments that could happen with these guns, or these arms. So if you don't have them, go ahead and give them a shot. And it's a pretty good roll this week, so I'd go for it. For the other perks, we have Rain Blows, increases melee attack speed. Impact Induction, bonus grenade energy on melee hits. Pulse Rifle Loader increases the reload speed of pulse rifles, and Fusion Rifle Loader increases the reload speed of fusion rifles. So these are good perks for the most part on arms. These are not like a melee. They're not like no backup plans or something that don't really help your melee. So so I'd say it's a fairly good roll. Of course, these are going to be up to your personal preference. So if you don't have them, go and pick them up this week.
Not found.
For our Hunter exotic this week, we have the Knucklehead Radar. To start with, we have an Intellect Strength stat roll on this, and that is 43-45. Remember, max for helmets is 46-46, so that puts this particular exotic at around 95%. I think it's closer to 96, but yes, right in that range, 95 to 96%. That's not a bad way to start this exotic. Here we go. Let's look at our exotic perk here. We have Sensor Pack. Radar remains visible while aiming primary weapons. Now, back in the day before the artifact Memory of Galleon was available, this was the only way to reliably get all your primaries to have the third eye perk on them without actually having the third eye perk on it. So if you don't like running Memory of Galleon, but you still like having your third eye active on all primary weapons, this is not a bad exotic to run for hunters. It's a mid-tier exotic. It's always going to be useful, right? It's a good neutral game exotic, but doesn't really excel at anything either. So if there's nothing else really fitting your fancy, I mean, there's a lot of other good choices for hunters, in my opinion, but this can still be fun and still be very usable. So let's go on to the perks now. We have Inverse Shadow, increased super energy gained from killing minions in the darkness. Ashes to Assets, gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. And Better Already, shields start recovery immediately after orb pickup. So the perks on this gun are definitely bent towards PvE, and that's fine. You've got Inverse Shadow and Better Already. It's actually very good perk selection for Crota's End, which is active this week. So keep that in mind. Remember, if you don't like the Intellect Strength, you can re-roll this exotic using the Twist Fate. That's activated using the Glass Needles, which I'll talk about in a second. So not a bad roll if you're looking to pick up this particular exotic, especially if you're looking for an Intellect Strength roll. So especially if you don't have it, go ahead and pick it up this week and go from there. For our Warlock exotic this week, we have the Obsidian Mind. This week it's got an Intellect Discipline stat split, and it's a 42-44. Remember, max is 46-46, so that puts this particular exotic right around 93% roll. So especially because this particular exotic focuses around your super, having that intellect stat on there is very, very useful, and discipline's always good for warlocks. So let's take a look at our perks here. Our exotic perk, Insatiable. Nova Bomb kills reduce the cooldown of your next Nova Bomb. So think about like if you're in the pit or any strike or anything that has a lot of mobs that you can kill with one Nova Bomb. It's not that hard to get back, you know, a half, 3/4, or sometimes even your entire super back based on the Nova Bomb you just threw. So this exotic in the right circumstances is a ton of fun and very, very useful. It's not a top tier exotic, right? So it's not necessarily what I'd use in all circumstances, like, you know, on Crota or something like that. But it's going to be a lot of fun, especially if you love running Void Walker and it's a Void Burn and some other stuff. I'd highly recommend, if you don't have this, to go ahead and pick it up. So we'll go ahead and look at the next perks here. Twist Fate, of course. Ashes to Assets, gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. Second Thoughts, gain bonus super energy from special weapon kills on minions of the darkness only. And Invigoration, gain bonus melee energy on orb pickups. So the perks here are, I mean, they're fine, but for this particular exotic, you're really focusing on your super, right? You're not using, you know, Void Fang Vestments. You're not using the Nothing Manacles or anything like that focuses on your grenade. This particular exotic really focuses on your super. So in this particular slot here, I'd really like to see Inverse Shadow. That's going to be a really good overall boost to your super versus Ashes to Assets, which is on your grenade kills, which can still be very useful for Void Walkers. But for me, that's what I would like to see. But again, you've got a really good intellect discipline stat on here. It's probably going to go up a little bit once you infuse it. So you might be looking at a 43-45, which is a pretty good place to be at, even if you're looking for tier 12 or anything like that. If you do not have this exotic, it's a good week to go ahead and get it. Even if you do have it, look at your roll that you currently have. If you have, like, I don't know what all Obsidian Mind can roll, but if you had an intellect strength or a discipline strength, I'd probably exchange it for the intellect discipline on this one. For our exotic weapon this week, we have the Trespasser. I really like the Trespasser, and it's a pretty good exotic overall, especially in today's meta in PvP. So let's take a look at the first perk that we have here. Be the Danger. This weapon fires bursts of bullets with deadly accuracy. Basically, all this means is that it does not have the bullet travel time of, say, a Dreg's Promise or the, I guess, the Vestian Dynasty, whatever the Queen's sidearm is from PoE. So that's pretty much all that means there. Take a look at the scopes. Fast Draw IS, Steady Hand IS, and Sure Shot IS. Okay. First perk here, we have a Relentless Tracker. Kills of this weapon grant enhanced motion tracker resolution for a short time. So this means is the Memory of Gelion perk basically procs for about 5 seconds and allows you to use that radar boosting perk. You know, it gives you the enhanced resolution, but it also I think it helps you scout like chests and things like that too, which is kind of nice. So move on to the middle column. Hand loaded. This weapon is effective at an extended range. Reinforced barrel, increased range, reduced ability. A quick draw. This weapon can be drawn unbelievably fast. Now, these middle perks here, keep in mind, this gun already has fairly good stats on stability and reload. I mean, stability is basically maxed, reload's basically maxed. It's already in a good spot for stability. So if you wanted to cut down on the stability a little bit and gain some more range, it's not necessarily a bad choice. Hand loaded does help a little bit, of course, with no cost to stability or anything. So these two are probably my top choices for these guns, or for this gun. Which one do you run is kind of up to you and how you like your stability. Quick draw, while good, remember you're using a sidearm, but they already come out pretty quickly. So, you know, it's not going to hurt anything. You know, it's going to make it a little faster, but you're not going to notice that difference as much. I'd probably go with the range on this gun. Let's go to the exotic perk. Unrepentant. Reloading after a kill causes the next burst to be a longer, more powerful super burst. Keep in mind this gun fires in 3-shot bursts, and it can kill in 2 bursts to the head, so when this particular perk procs, it basically just shoots 2 bursts all at the same time. You can theoretically 1 burst someone with this perk active. It is possible. It is difficult because they all have to be headshots. But it can be fun. Even if you just get off most of the shots, you can then follow it up with a pretty quick second burst after that. This is definitely a PvP focus gun. Obviously, it's going to be usable in PvE, but back in the day, we might have used it during an arc burn sort of situation. But now that we have all the adept primaries that have arc burn on them and everything, you're probably not going to have an exotic slot to use this gun on. It's still very effective in an arc burn or a specialist sort of situation. So if you really like sidearms, then you can use it in those situations. But this is mainly a PvP centric gun, and it does very well in PvP. It's a good, solid choice if you're looking for an exotic sidearm to choose from. Now let's go over everything else that Xur has this week. Starting with weapon bundles, we have Invective and Storm's Reproach ornament. So for this weapon bundle, remember the actual gun is costing you 30 strange coins, and it gets an ornament that comes along with it for 25 silver dust. So for this gun, the actual ornament that's available is also available in the kiosk. So if you're, real excited, oh yeah, Storm's Reproach is finally available, you can also just pick that up without buying the gun or wasting your strange coins. If you don't have Invective and you really want it, it's a fun gun. Regens ammo. It's a shotgun. It's very good in PvP and very good in PvE. I mean, it's not the best shotgun you can have, but with the special weapon meta the way it is, and you're regenerating special weapon ammo, it can be pretty useful. So there's the first one. Then we have Telesto and Lingering Vestige. So again, this ornament that's available with this gun is also available in the kiosk. So I probably wouldn't pick this one up unless you also don't have a Telesto, which is a very good fusion rifle that it's kind of like the Needler back in the day from Halo. It sticks to the enemies when it fires, and then they explode and have an AoE to them, which is really nice. It's a very solid fusion rifle. If you don't have either of these and you have strange coins and silver dust to burn, it's not necessarily a bad way to do it. But if you don't want to burn the silver dust, then I'm sure you can wait for next week, or special weapon engrams from boss drops or something like that. We'll probably do it. For the Curios, we have Plasma Drives and Emerald Coils. So remember, this is for the rare sparrows that the Crucible and Vanguard sell. If you have one of those equipped, and then you use one of these, drive enhancers, or we're going to call it vehicle upgrades, then it's going to turn that into a legendary sparrow with a different color contrail or different color boost to it. That's all it's doing, but it's very interesting. It can be useful for completing the collections in your book, so it'll give you a couple more variations of your sparrows to put in your collection. So that's the main use for these at this point, but they're still kind of fun. Then we have heavy ammo syntheses. So we have 3 for 1 strange coin or 10 for 3 strange coins. Unless you're just going to buy 2 strange coins or 1 strange coin worth of heavy ammo synthesis, always just get these. It's a much better deal. 3 coins, 7 strange coins for 5 3 coins. Remember, you can use these on ultras, especially raid bosses or strike bosses in the game. And it'll give you a chance of getting an exotic engram to drop. Then we have glass needles. These are used for re-rolling exotic armor. So as we saw in, say, Obsidian Mind with that Twist Fate perk, that's what these glass needles are used for. It'll re-roll not only the stats, but also all the perks that are available for that particular exotic. And they are 3 strange coins, 3 motes of light, and 1 exotic shard for 3 glass needles. Lastly, we have a mote of light for 2 strange coins. If you're really hurting for motes for some reason, then you have, a good amount of strange coins, you can get yourself some motes, but this isn't really that reliable. I think motes are pretty easy to get just by ranking up your character after 40, and also from faction upgrades. Then we have exotic shards, 7 strange coins for 1 exotic shard. If you're really low, you just need some clutch exotic shards. It's not a bad way to do it, but it is more reliable to actually grab a heavy weapon from a kiosk, upgrade that, and then break it down, because it'll give you 2 exotic shards when it's fully upgraded. There you go. That's my Xur review for the week of April 28th, 2017. See you guys.